Hi, everyone. I'm Alexandra Levine, your host with Alexandra 360. We're starting the show a couple hours early tonight. It's a special night, but normally my show is Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We have so much news to cover tonight on this special hour. Biden out. Kamala Harris. She is supposedly the presumptive Democratic nominee for president, or is she? Supposedly, all of these big name people are endorsing her, supporting her. All these big donor money are coming to her now. All these people that were donating money to Joe Biden are now donating money to her. Apparently, she has raised millions and millions and millions of dollars in just days. She announced on Twitter that she is now full force on the campaign trail, campaigning for herself as president of the United States. Now, let me ask my viewers, do you honestly think that she's going to be the next president of the United States? We've looked at the poll numbers between her and Trump. Her numbers are worse than Joe Biden. She is 10 points below President Trump. President Trump is leading in every single state against her. 7 points, 8 points, 9 points, 10 points. And President Trump was leading Joe Biden significantly in all 50 states, especially the main states, the Rust Belt states that President Trump needs to win in 2024. But this crazy poll came out today stating that Kamala Harris is up 2 points above President Trump. Does anybody really believe that? Does anybody really believe that Kamala Harris is actually going to beat Donald Trump, that she's actually up 2 percentage points above President Trump? Now, we have a clip from the debate when Kamala Harris ran for president against Joe Biden. And this is a great clip. And she was debating and against, it was a question that with CNN, it was asked from Jake Tapper from CNN, and Tulsi Gabbard answered it well against Kamala Harris. Eddie, play that clip, please.
Gabbard, you took issue with Senator Harris confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling. It is why, and because I know that criminal justice system is so broken, that I am an advocate for what we need to do to not only decriminalize, but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring Congresswoman Gabbard back in. Your response,
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Now, I applaud Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard there. I applaud her for calling out Kamala Harris's record there as prosecutor. And a lot of people did that day because nobody knew that about Kamala Harris. Nobody knew that. And after that debate, Kamala Harris could not recover. And she actually ended up getting 1% in the Iowa caucus, and she left. She left her presidential reign because she could not recover. Donors actually backed away from Kamala Harris after that. And then all of a sudden, Joe Biden picks her as his vice president, and all of a sudden she becomes, quote, the vice president, which she's not. She's the Manchurian candidate. Joe Biden is the Manchurian candidate. And now all of a sudden Joe Biden decides to step down as president, and she's now, running as president of the United States. She's already calling herself the president or the next president of the United States. She's running as the next president of the United States. So again, to my viewers, ask yourselves, is this woman really going to be the next president of the United States? I asked Democrats today, Democrats that voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in 2020, if you really did, but if you did, I ask you today, do you really feel that this woman has helped you the last 3 years? Do you really feel that your life is better under her leadership, her quote, leadership? Do you really feel safe? Do you really feel that you have more money in your pocket? Do you really feel that she has helped you? Because I don't think she has. Actually, I know she hasn't. I really want you to think about it, to think about the issues, to go back and really think about your life and what this woman has done to you and to your families, and really go into that ballot box in November and really think about it. If you notice behind me, there's an Israeli flag, and we'll talk about that later in the program. I'm 100% Jewish. I'm very honest about that. I always talk about my Judaism on this program. Most Jewish people in this country are Democrats. I say to the Jewish people today, and I will continue to pound it and to pound the narrative until November 5th. Jewish Democrats, Jewish independents, do you feel that Kamala Harris has kept you safe? Do you feel that she is pro-Israel? Do you feel that she really supports our biggest ally, Israel? Because I know that she doesn't. I can tell you she does not. I am begging and pleading with the Jewish community, especially after we hear the Prime Minister of Israel tomorrow speak in the halls of Congress for the 4th time. And we'll talk about that later. I really am asking the Jewish community to not vote for Kamala Harris in November. I am asking and I am begging the Jewish community in November to vote for Donald J. Trump. I am asking for that increase of the Jewish vote. I did the work. My Jexit organization did the work. The Republican Jewish Coalition, ZOA, we did the work to educate Jewish people, regardless of party, to educate them to vote Republican, to vote for Donald Trump. In 2020, I worked with Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida, in some of the most liberal counties in the state of Florida, in Broward County, in Broward County, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach County, to vote Republican. And they did it. They did it. We got 35% of the Jewish vote for Governor Ron DeSantis in 2018. We got a 10% increase in the Jewish vote in his re-election campaign in 2022. For President Trump nationwide, from 2016 to 2020, we got a 5.1% increase in the Jewish vote nationwide for President Donald J. Trump. So I'm going to ask my Jewish friends, I'm going to ask you again, and I'm going to keep pounding it until November 5th to vote for Donald J. Trump. I'm going to ask my Christian Democrats, because I need you too. I love my Christian brothers and sisters. I love you to death. I wouldn't have an organization without you, but I love you and I ask you, please vote for Donald J. Trump November 5th. Please, please. Again, take a look at your bank accounts. Go to the grocery stores. I was just at the grocery store. I spent $100 on maybe 7 items today at Giant in Maryland. But when I go to Florida, I go to Publix. Publix is supposed to be one of the most reasonable grocery stores in Florida. Buy one, get one free. Buy 2, get 1 free. And I spend $60, $70, $80 at Publix in Florida, in Sarasota County, just on myself. Vitamins are very expensive. The cost of prescription drugs is very expensive. Healthcare is very expensive. I'm tired of it. A lot of young people are not getting married and having children because it's very expensive. We want to get married. We want to have kids. We need President Trump back in that White House. We need him so bad. And a lot of people are seeing the light. A lot of Democrats are seeing the light. A lot of independents are seeing the light. Rhinos, Republican in name only, are even starting to see the light. And a lot of people saw the Republican National Convention, how we had so many people that were never Republican entering the big tent. The first night of the RNC convention had Amber Rose speak, and people were like, why would you have Amber Rose speak? She's been a hardcore liberal forever. She dissed Trump forever. But she talked about how she felt accepted by the MAGA movement. She wears her MAGA hat with pride now. She wears it. 50 Cent, a big African-American rapper. Everybody knows 50 Cent. He feels accepted in the Republican Party. We're actually pretty accepting people. Me personally, I talk to everyone, regardless of party, regardless of race, religion, and creed. I talk to everybody. There's a lot of elderly people in my building. There's transgender people in my building. We talk. They say some negative things about President Trump. I give them the time of day. I don't yell at them. I don't argue with them. I don't scream at them. I give them the time of day, and we talk it out. And guess what? At the end of the day, they're like, you know what? I didn't see things that perspective. I didn't see it from that perspective. I didn't know about Donald Trump that way. He actually called the family of that person that was shot and killed at his rally. He actually called the family of the person that was shot and killed and raped by an illegal. He actually called that person that had cancer. He actually called that person that was hurt or assaulted by an illegal. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about him. He actually opened up Mar-a-Lago to blacks and Jews when they were told to go away. He actually opened up his door to blacks and Jews that were told not to even come through the door at Trump Tower in New York City. I didn't know that. There's a lot of things that people don't know about President Trump. He's done a lot of charitable things over the years. Oh, I didn't know that President Trump tried to help Teresa Giudice, who's she was on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Her ex-husband was deported to Italy. President Trump actually tried to help him not get deported. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, these are real things that people don't know about President Trump. But when they find out, they're like, oh, he's not such a bad guy. He's not such a racist, a homophobe, a xenophobe, all this bad stuff that that the mainstream and the liberals have been calling him for years. He's actually a very decent guy. And then they see his children. What wonderful children he has. And did you guys have a chance to see his beautiful eldest granddaughter, Kai Trump, on the RNC convention stage and say the most beautiful things about her grandfather and talk about him and how real she was talking about him? I miss my grandfather every single day. And how President Trump's children and grandchildren watched as their grandfather got shot on live television. God forbid they saw him get killed on live television. You have to put yourself in their shoes. You have to look at those perspectives. You have to really know the man and meet the man and talk to the man to make a full assessment of the man. He's not a bad guy. He's actually a really nice guy and a really cool dude and a great and a cool grandpa and an awesome guy. Look at Kamala Harris's children. Look at her daughter. Her daughter supports #Free Palestine, #ceasefire. That's what her daughter represents. Her daughter was supporting supporting Hamas, raising money for Hamas. That was her daughter. Kamala, or not her daughter, her stepdaughter. Kamala Harris's stepdaughter, who's Jewish, by the way. Kamala Harris is married to a Jew. Her stepdaughter's Jewish, but she was raising money for Hamas. Look at the difference between Donald Trump's children and grandchildren and Kamala Harris's stepdaughter and stepson. It's day and night. Look at what Kamala Harris had to do to get to where she is, and look at what Donald Trump's children did to get to where they are. Look at Ivanka Trump. Ivanka Trump built $1 billion business on her own. On her own. Yes, she had her father's name, but she built an empire on her own. I knew her first before I knew her brothers. Look at Tiffany Trump. She went to law school on her own. She's a successful lawyer on her own. She doesn't have to bend down to anybody. Kamala Harris bent down to people to get to where she is today. And these are facts. Everybody knows it. So when you go into that ballot box November 5th, think about it. Really think about it. Look at your bank accounts. Look at how much money you've lost over the years. Look how this country is now in chaos, and the world. We don't even have a president right now. Nobody knows where he is. People think he had a stroke. People think he's dead. People think that when he called into Kamala Harris's campaign event that it was AI. It wasn't even his real voice. What the heck is going on? What is going on? This is disgusting. Coming back after the break, we're going to talk about the resignation of Kimberly Cheadle, who was now we can call her the former U.S. Secret Service director. We'll be right back after the break.
Next up, we have Julius here, and he's from his company, Eco Inventions.
That's correct.
And he has the Eco Washer. Now, I see it says never buy laundry detergent again.
Right.
I think the laundry detergent people are going to be after this.
Yeah, they're probably not going to like you. What?
Hey guys, I'm back. This is Alexandra Levine with Alexandra 360. This is a special time because we started at 7 instead of our usual 9 p.m. So we had something interesting happen today. The United States Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheadle, she finally decided to resign. In my opinion, she should have resigned the moment that President Trump was shot in the ear. In my opinion, she should have been fired the moment that President Trump was shot. But did anybody listen to the congressional hearing that happened yesterday? I listened to the entire hearing. It was a disgrace. It was disgusting. As far as I was concerned, the woman didn't answer any questions. She deflected to the FBI. We all know the FBI, they're great, right? They really do thorough investigations. I mean, it's been 10 days since President Trump was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. We all saw it live. At least most of us saw it live. And there's a very interesting exchange between Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna from Florida and Kimberly Cheadle. Eddie, please play the clip.
You guys did have knowledge at 5:59 p.m. according to those group chats, did you not?
Of a suspicious individual.
Okay. Chairman, in my opinion, according to some of the testimony today, I feel that you have perjured yourself in some instances. And so I'm going to ask for a full review of the transcripts by staff. And if you find that to be the case, I do ask that you bring perjury charges against the director. I will say this, it is very frustrating, and I've talked to my colleagues and we've said it to your face, that you have been up here basically stonewalling our ability to get the answers to the American people. And what I will also say is that every single member of Congress does not feel safe with you in charge. You have heard that, and I think that we are all sitting ducks with you in directing the Secret Service currently. But more importantly, it sends a message to our adversaries that we are not protected, and we are one of the strongest countries in the world, so you have essentially made us a less safe country because of it.
So I wholeheartedly believe that this exchange was one of the reasons why Kimberly Cheadle stepped down, because Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna basically, threatened her and said, we're going to bring perjury charges against you, because the woman did, in my mind, I'm not an attorney, but in my mind, purged throughout her entire testimony. And then we found out that she never even went to the site, that Kimberly Cheadle never even went to the site of Butler, Pennsylvania, which is disgusting. I mean, she actually had the audacity to show up at the RNC convention. And also reports found out that they didn't even have real Secret Service agents protecting President Trump. They had like drug enforcement agents, lower level tier agents protecting President Trump. They had women that were 5'4" that couldn't even put the gun into their holster properly, that didn't even know how to hold the gun. They had women that didn't even know what the heck they were doing. And if you notice at the RNC convention, President Trump, he had very tall, strapping men that were protecting him the entire time. And he had a huge rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan also, and he had tall, strapping men protecting him the entire time. I wholeheartedly believe that President Trump needs his own private security detail from now on. I don't feel that he should rely on the Secret Service anymore. Secret Service actually came out with a statement that President Trump shouldn't have large crowds at his rallies anymore, or large outdoor rallies anymore. That's disgusting, because what they're doing is they're suppressing his voters. They're suppressing his rallies. Let me tell you something. There is 2 jobs of Secret Service agents. The first job is to protect President Trump. The second job is to take a bullet for President Trump. If you can't do either one of those things, then you don't do the job. Then you get the hell out, because those 2 are your jobs. The fact that it took a subpoena, and full pressure on both sides of the aisle. I was surprised to see the bipartisanship at that hearing to get Kimberly Cheadle to finally resign was just ridiculous. As I said, she should have resigned the minute that President Trump was shot, but also Joe Biden should have fired her, or Secretary of DHS Mayorkas should have fired her. I didn't look down the line. I don't know who's going to replace her, but I would hope that the person who does replace her does their job. Because again, what is your job? Your job is to protect the president and the former president. And what is second job of Secret Service? To take a bullet for the president of the United States. And I know there's a lot of people out there that would be honored to take a bullet for President Trump. But again, in my mind, I don't feel that President Trump should rely on the U.S. Secret Service. I do feel that he should have his own private security detail. And he has asked for years, for heightened security, because he is a big figure. He's a big name. He's at high risk. He's had death threats against him. His family has had death threats against him. I mean, these are real things. And, you know, it's disgusting. And Kimberly Cheadle, I believe, has had these requests in front of her, and she absolutely did nothing. And we the people at Butler were telling the Secret Service, we're telling law enforcement moments before it happened. Look, there's a guy on the roof. He looks suspicious. He's got a rifle. And they were ignored. We the people, our pictures, our video was better than what Secret Service and law enforcement had. This was ridiculous. Then there was a report that the counter sniper saw the shooter, and he asked Kim Cheadle, can I take the shot? And she said no. They had to wait for the shooter to shoot President Trump to see if there was a threat. I mean, this is a disgrace. This is an ultimate disgrace. You know, now we can say, well, she resigned, she's gone. Hopefully this will never happen again. She had the audacity to say, I'm standing here to make sure this never happens again. No, the point of your job is that this never happens. This never happens. And a congressman pointed that out. Again, thank God that she's gone. But man, she should have been gone sooner. And she will go down in history as the worst Secret Service director ever. Disgusting. One congressman called her a DEI horror. DEI horror. And that's what she was. No, I don't know where she goes from here, and I don't care. People said, oh, maybe she'll go back to Pepsi or Doritos. If I was her, I wouldn't have a job for a while. I would just sit on your couch. Sit on your couch and think about what you did. You put the president of the United States, you put President Trump's life in danger. He almost died because of you. Think about it. Do you even care? Do you even care? I hope she sits on her couch and thinks about it and eats Doritos and drinks Pepsi while she thinks about it. Get off Ozempic if she's on it, and eat the Doritos and drink Pepsi. Coming up right after the break, we have our friend, the Conservative Corner, Seth Eisenberg. We're going to talk about Israel, Netanyahu, Kamala Harris, and the future of Maryland, the future of this country and the world. Coming up right after the break.
Born in the coastal plains of South Texas, Smoking Gun Coffee is founded by combat veterans that know exactly what a cup of coffee needs to taste like. Run by father and son, each coffee bean is perfected, roasted at 500 degrees, and cooled with a Gulf Coast breeze. Smoking Gun Coffee hand makes and bags each ounce of coffee for maximum customer satisfaction. With every purchase, 10% goes back to organizations that help veterans and local communities. That's Texas made, one bag at a time. To find out more, go to www.smokingguncoffee.com.
We're back. It's Alexandra Levine with Alexandra 360. I have a special guest with me, my friend Seth Eisenberg. He runs the Conservative Corner every Sunday nights. Woo! You're my friend. Woo!
How are you?
Good. I know you look taller than me. It's all good. You are taller than me.
I'm drinking Pepsi, but just because I like it, not because I'm supporting what's her face.
That's okay. I hope she gets off her Ozempic. Man, jeez. Oh my God, she's horrible.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
An embarrassment.
Oh. I'm sorry?
I said she's an embarrassment.
Oh, she's an embarrassment. She's disgusting. So shifting gears a little bit. So we were talking about, Kamala Harris, whatever the hell you want to call her. So, now she's, acting like she's the president of the United States, or, she already is putting herself in the role. But yet, isn't the role of the president of the United States to meet with our foreign leaders, specifically our biggest ally, Israel? And as you know, the Prime Minister of Israel is in town, Bibi Netanyahu. He actually flew from Israel. It's not, it's not a 2-hour flight. It's like a 14-hour flight.
It's a little bit of a trip.
For some reason, he wasn't greeted by her or Biden. Biden's got COVID. What do you think about that? Isn't that kind of a disgrace? The guy was booked for months, to come to America. He's speaking in the halls of Congress tomorrow. And he wasn't greeted by, Kamala Harris, who's supposed to take on the role of president right now. What say you?
It's embarrassing. I mean, like you said, he's one of the biggest. He's our only true ally in the Middle East. Israel's always been an ally. So you make time to greet him. You adjust your schedule to get to the airport to at least say, hey, how you doing? Let me get you here. I got to run, but I'll be back. At least be there. Make an effort to be there. But to be honest, I don't think he cares. I think he realizes both of them are on the way out. They're old news. So if they're not here to greet me, I'll be fine. It's not going to affect me at all. So I don't think it fazed him at all. Really, I don't think it did. But still, they should have been there. Somebody should have been there.
Now, what do you think about the fact that she's not even going to be there tomorrow to hear him speak? This is historic because this is the 4th time that he is coming, and this is history. What do you think about that?
It's an embarrassment again. I mean, that's all there. I mean, we're talking about Kamala Harris, and we all know how she got where she got. It wasn't through brains. It wasn't through oral ability. It was because she could bend her knees. Let's just be honest. So she's an embarrassment to begin with. So her not showing up is just par for course. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't shock me. I'm not like, oh, clutch my pearls. That's Kamala. What do you expect? She's like two generations removed from Trailer Park. It doesn't surprise me at all. So again, I really don't think Netanyahu cares. I don't think he's like, oh, geez, I wish she would be here. He's probably like, thank God she's not here. I don't have to deal with her hack, cackling, and hyena laugh all the time. I think he's probably better off without her there.
Now, right now, and I think I sent you a picture of it, we have, of course, anti-Israel protesters in the Capitol today. My question to you is, how the hell did they get in? As you know, Code Pink, they already put out, a couple weeks ago that they were going there, that they actually got buses from all over these liberal cities, including Baltimore, to come in and try to harass Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, there you go. Code Pink. They want to, quote, arrest Netanyahu. First of all, where is Code Pink getting their money? How are they allowed to do this? How are we allowed to have anti-Israel protesters at the state capitol? What the heck is that all about?
I think they get their money from making sandwiches because I'm sure they're very good at that. I mean, they're older women, so I'm sure they had a lot of practice. So I think they just sell sandwiches on the side of the road, and that's how they make their coin.
Well, my question to you is, did they welcome, are they welcoming like Prime Minister with vaginas, on their heads,
Most of those people have got to be like certifiable. I mean, they can't be average people. They got to be psychopaths. I mean, they would probably make a good episode of Criminal Minds. But how they get into these places where it's supposed to be secure is beyond me. I mean, you have a right to protest, and I'm not knocking for protesting. That's their right. I applaud them for exercising their rights. That's great, awesome. But there's got to be a line. You don't get to go into buildings and scream and yell and carry on, or you don't get to block traffic. You don't get to walk around with vaginas on your head. There has to be some type of decorum. And I don't understand why they think saying let's arrest Netanyahu, it's not going to happen. They just don't grasp the big picture. They're butthurt. They're upset. They're angry. Their membership has dropped. I think it was around like 20,000 at one point, but now they're saying it's between like 10 and 15. So their membership is dropping. So if you can't be relevant, be controversial, and you'll get more membership. And that's what they're doing. They're just screaming and yelling to get more membership and in line to get more money for dues. It's all about money.
Well, this is what I want to, open up, my eyes to, the voters, the people that vote for the AOCs of the world, the squads of the world, because they support these anti-Israel, protesters that come into the Capitol. Rashida Tlaib is one of those people. I think it was a few months ago that brought care into the state capitals. I wouldn't be surprised if she's a part of Code Pink. I wouldn't be surprised if she's a part of all of these, protesters. And as you know, AOC, the squad, they are not showing up tomorrow. Bernie Sanders is not showing up tomorrow for Netanyahu. What say you about that?
Good. Stay home. We don't want you there anyway. You don't serve a purpose. You don't represent the majority of the people in this country. And Bernie Sanders, was he like 610 years old now? I mean, the man's never had a job in his life. He's never supervised or produced anything, but he's going to preach to people that he's the all-knowing, all-great leader that he is. Was he on like 7 houses or something like that? Some crazy amount? Yeah, so stay home. Nobody wants him there anyway.
But Seth, how do we get their voters to stop voting for them and to vote Republican, to primary them and to vote for Trump?
I think we can turn some people. I really do. I think the best thing to do is, like my mom used to say, give people enough rope and they'll hang themselves. Mm-hmm. Sit back and let these people talk. And the people who are intelligent will hear them talk and go, what the hell? Did you slip and hit your head? Mm-hmm. And they'll realize these people aren't good. But there's always going to be that faction of people, no matter where, in any country in the world, no matter where you go, that have the IQ of a flip-flop and just, okay, I like them, I'm going to vote. They're not going to think. They're not going to educate themselves on the voter. They're going to hear sound bites and go, oh, that's the greatest politician in the world. And they're going to vote for him. But I think we can turn people. And the best thing to do with people like that is let them talk. Let them run their mouth. Let them say their insane stuff and fly their Palestinian flags in Congress and the pride flags. Let them do all, because as people pay more attention, the smart ones will back off. Like, yeah, this is crazy. I may be a Democrat, but that's crazy. We're not doing that.
Now, Eddie, do you have, can you show those images of what's in front of the Israeli embassy, where it has the Palestinian flag and it has like all the, there it is. I don't know if we can blow that up a little bit. I don't know if you can you see that? Yeah, there you go. So it says I can't even read it. When you stand with Israel, you're supporting genocide. So that's right in front. There you go. And there's a Palestinian flag. I was actually driving on my way to Shabbat in DC, and that is right in front of the Israeli embassy. Unfortunately, you can't take that down. If you take that down as a Jewish person, that's considered vandalism. And there's cameras everywhere. You will be arrested for taking that down. But the people that put that up there, that's okay. That's considered freedom of speech. That's considered freedom of expression. You're calling for the genocide of Jews. That is hate speech, and it's right in front of the Israeli embassy. That is disgusting. But the lawmakers, they're not doing anything about it. That's what bothers me.
Well, let's be completely, perfectly honest. Out of all the Republican politicians we have in in Congress and in DC, I'm going to be very, very, very nice and say probably 13% of them have a set. The rest just want to get along. They want to get invited to the parties. They want to get the interviews. They want to be in the newspaper. They're not going to make waves. They're not going to stand up for anything unless a majority stands up with them. And that's what we got to deal with. The 13% are out there. This is wrong. We got to do something. But they get drowned out by the rhinos. And the Democrats don't have to do anything. They can just sit back and let the rhinos do all the work and go, hey, we're not even involved in this. This doesn't involve us. That's them. So the first thing you got to do is get rid of rhinos or hold them accountable, bring them out into the light, because sunlight is the best disinfectant. Drag them out so everybody can see them. But yeah, that's ridiculous. It's like maybe not as drastic, but flying the Palestinian flag in front of the Israeli embassy is probably close to flying a swastika.
Yeah.
Maybe not as extreme, but I still think it's in the same neighborhood. It shouldn't be allowed. It's, free speech is great, but you don't have to fly that flag. You don't need that, because you're not flying it because you support them. You're flying it because you know they killed Jews. Mm-hmm. That's why you're putting that out there. You're trying to get a reaction. Yep. And I don't agree with that.
So Seth, I want to shift to Maryland politics a little bit, because you have Senator Chris Van Hollen, who, as we know, is backed and supported by J Street, which is a big anti-Semitic group. You can, and I'm going to say this to the audience, this is public record. You can go on his FEC report and look it up. I doubt he's going to be there tomorrow. I doubt it. You have Senator Ben Cardin. He's more of a moderate Democrat, but he's out the door. People have said he has done a lot of stuff for, releasing the hostages, and he's brought the hostage families to the Capitol. So, he's not as extreme as Mr. Chris Van Hollen. You have Congressman Jamie Raskin. I call him #NotMyPureJew. He has had CARE in front of his his office. CARE, as we know, is a terrorist organization. Yep. They work with Hamas. They work with
you beat up CARE too, didn't you?
I'm sorry?
You beat up CARE.
I beat up CARE. I got them
you did.
The Anti-Hate Commission in Annapolis. Thank God.
That's awesome.
But unfortunately, Jamie Raskin lives in a district in Montgomery County that has a lot of Democratic Jews. And unfortunately, they vote for him. And my hope is that the Democratic Jews that live in Montgomery County, they will not vote for Jamie Raskin, and they will not vote for Kamala Harris. They'll vote for Donald Trump. That's my hope. And Wes Moore, you have your Governor Wes Moore and Eddie, please show that picture with Governor Wes Moore and Kamala. No, not that one. No, not that one. That one. Yeah, can you blow that one up? So that is, oh my God, I've showed it to everyone. Please. So it says Donald Trump is about to find out being the president of the United States is a black job. Okay, Seth, please explain to me how is being the president of the United States a black job? Everyone I've talked to said that is so racist. What is that? Please explain that to me.
He's trying to be hip. He's trying to appeal to the woke people. And number one, I would like to thank Larry Hogan for putting Moore into office. If it weren't for Hogan's hard work, throwing other Republicans under the bus and campaigning for the Democrat, we wouldn't have him. So thank you, Larry Hogan. Wherever you are, shoving tacos down that pie hole of yours, you're a true Republican. That whole black thing is code word. They're trying to pull in the minority vote, which I think is despicable. If it had been me with Trump and I said, hey, being the president's a white job, I'd have been ran out of town on a rail and put in jail and wouldn't have been able to show my face anywhere. So it's not acceptable either way. You can't say it's acceptable this way, but not that way. It's not acceptable either way. And that should be condemned by everybody. Like, hey, dude, that was kind of unnecessary. It's kind of racist. You probably should say, like, hey, I'm sorry, bad joke. I apologize. But they won't, because the left is never wrong. They're always right. Even when they're wrong, they're right. So, yeah, it's a joke. It's he's a joke. He's jacking taxes up now, wants to raise them again, and wants to have an electric car mandate in Maryland by 2026, 27, something like that.
But what upset me is that the Democratic Jews, and I've talked to a lot of them in your state, they voted for Westmore.
Oh yeah.
They voted for Chris Van Hollen. They reelected that man. They voted for Jamie Raskin. And I'm like, what the heck? And they voted for John Sarbanes.
Yep.
And they voted for Steny Hoyer. They voted for all the Democratic congressmen. They voted for all of the Democratic state representatives of you guys. They voted for Brandon Scott, Mayor Brandon Scott. What has he done for the Jewish community? Like, really? Like, how many Jewish people have had to die on his watch?
Oh, I
like,
know.
Seriously. I've talked to like the Jewish representatives in Baltimore City and Baltimore County, and they love him and they vote for him. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And a lot of it is politics. They vote party over principle. And
Yes.
that is the problem. That is the problem. It's just like, that's why I voted for President Trump. That's why I will vote for President Trump in November, because he resonates with me. He resonates for me as a Jew, as someone who is Jewish, as someone who loves Israel, because I know that President Trump, and you know this, Seth, also, that President Trump is one of the most pro-Israel presidents we ever had in the history of our nation. The guy moved the embassy. He moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. How much more can President Trump do? He did the Abraham Accords. I mean, come on. You know, remember what they said, Seth, that he was going to start World War III in the Middle East.
Yep.
Like, seriously, this is like insane. Oh, my God.
My father's the same way. He votes Democrat, and I love the old man. I mean, he's half the reason I'm here. But sometimes I just want to grab him by his neck and go, "What are you doing? Are you even paying attention to what's going on? Or are you just worried that, hey, it's a Democrat?" I think he's slowly starting to come around this time because of all the BS that's been going on for 3.5 years. I think he's finally seeing, hey, maybe Democrats aren't all good. Maybe I need to look at another angle and check some other things out. And I think a lot of it comes from the Democrats' claim that, you know, we represent the minorities, we want to help everybody. And I think with a lot of Jewish people that they like to hear that because of what happened to us in the 40s when we were crushed because we were a minority. So I think it has a lot to do with that. They're like, hey, they're looking out for the minorities. We need to back that up because we know what can happen if we don't. So I think a lot of it might be guilt. Maybe it's fear. But I think they're slowly turning. I think there's, like I said, my father's turning because of all the BS that's going on. I think a lot of them are opening their eyes and going, you know what? Maybe I should look at the Republican Party a little bit more and see what they have to say.
I agree with you. And that's why it's so important for every Jewish person, especially tomorrow, to hear what Prime Minister Netanyahu has to say. Even if you don't like his politics, even if you don't like what's going on with the Israeli government, whatever, you need to listen to what he has to say.
I agree.
Because it is so important. He is coming here to tell you what's up and what's going on over there. And, you know, I talked to you about this earlier. You know, Netanyahu, he and his family lived in America for a few years, for many years. Netanyahu is a graduate of MIT. He actually graduated the same class as Mitt Romney. So he has a history here. I mean, Mitt Romney's the best. But, he has a history here. He has never criticized America or Americans. He's never criticized leadership, even though I know he wasn't a fan of Barack Obama. And I don't think he's a fan of Biden or Kamala, but he won't tell you. He won't tell them to their faces. But, you know, I mean, he is so humble. He's such a humble man, and he speaks very well and very eloquently. But, you know, he knows that America is our biggest ally, and the thing is, he never has his hand out. He never begs. You know, he doesn't have his hand out. And you will see the difference between him and Zelensky. You will totally see the difference.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. So, you know, when Biden and Kamala, they didn't meet Netanyahu, and you know, Kamala said, you know, I'm not seeing Netanyahu, you know, give his speech in front of Congress. You know, Netanyahu's like, I'm going to reach out to Trump and I'm going to go hang out and I'm going to meet with him. So Netanyahu's actually meeting Trump on Friday at Mar-a-Lago. So that's going to be really cool. You know, that's really cool to see. And actually, Netanyahu has known Jared Kushner and the family since, like, Jared Kushner was, like, you know, a child. So there's, like, history there. You know, there's real history there. And, you know, it's just, you know, people need to just, wake up, and you're going to see a lot. And I've talked to a lot of young Jewish people. You're going to see a lot of young Jewish people, a lot of Jewish people in general. They are going to vote Republican. They are going to vote, or I would just say they're going to vote specifically for President Trump in November. And you're going to see that. And this is the message I'm going to say to you, Seth, and to and you're going to take this back to Maryland with you. And I'm in Maryland with you too. Jamie Raskin Jews, vote Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
David Trone Jews, vote Donald Trump. Ben Cardin Jews, vote Donald Trump. Every single Jew in Maryland, vote for Donald Trump. Just please, God, vote Donald Trump. If you're Jewish, if you're Christian, vote for Donald Trump.
Or at the very least, listen to him speak. Just hear what the guy's got to say.
Exactly.
Give him the benefit of the doubt and listen. And then after you listen to him, you can make an informed decision. And if you're making an informed decision, you're going to agree with him.
Exactly. One Jewish guy said to me on Shabbat, he's like, I don't think it's wise that Netanyahu is coming because there's so many tensions. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the best time for him to come. He needs to come. He needs to come to set the record straight, to shut everybody up. Because there's too many damn people that are making all these different accusations and this and that and saying Netanyahu is a criminal and all this. I mean, look what the ICC is trying to do to him. They're trying to, arrest him for protecting his people. And then one guy said to me, he's too focused on the war and he's not focused on releasing the hostages. That's not true at all. He's got to kill the enemy so he can get the hostages. That's the point. Hello. You don't have to you don't have to be a rocket science to know this stuff.
I mean, I think a lot of people also forget that Israel trains our troops in urban warfare.
Yeah.
We send them there to learn that. We get most of our intel from the Middle East, from the Mossad. They do all that for us. They also spend about $14 to $15 billion a year on stuff from us to come over there. Mm-hmm. So it's not like on Ukraine where they just gimme.
Exactly.
It's beneficial with Israel. We need to keep that open, because if Israel's not in that Middle East, if they disappear tomorrow, the entire world is going to burn, because all those terrorist organizations aren't going to be kept in check anymore. They're going to run free. They're going to start fighting themselves, and it's going to spill out to the rest of the world. So people just need to let Israel be Israel. Let them do what they got to do. Yeah. If you don't understand, you don't agree with it, you know what? Suck it up. Put your big boy pants on and go do what you got to do. Let them handle the way they think they need to handle it. And leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Yeah. And remember, the Mossad warned us that, here in America, we have illegal Afghan and illegal Syrian refugees in America, and they're killing innocent Americans. And Bibi Netanyahu will bring that up tomorrow. And what do the illegals do? They're killing Americans. And guess what? They're infiltrating our elections. Hello, it's all connected. And they're right. And I mean, I'm in Montgomery County. These illegals, they're right here in Montgomery County. They're right here. And that's why we have all these free Palestine, rallies all over the place. They're in DC. Right. I mean, they're right here. And wait a minute. Wasn't Kamala Harris supposed to be like the border czar?
Yes, she was.
Wasn't that her assignment? Didn't she have like 2 assignments? One was the border czar, and I don't know what the second assignment was. I don't even remember.
She dropped the ball on both. Doesn't matter.
She dropped the ball on both.
She was the gun control czar.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. The gun control czar. So she couldn't. So she screwed up both of those royally. So again, American people, please, God. Again, ignore the propaganda. We see that this woman that Kamala is not coming to see the Prime Minister of Israel. And also look at the congressmen and the senators that will not be attending tomorrow. Write their names down. Make it known. Try to primary them out. Do not reelect these people. It speaks volumes. One person said to me, well, Kamala is going to see Bibi Netanyahu later in the week. That counts, right? No. She didn't.
It was like when Obama kept him waiting in the White House for 2 hours, just sitting there.
Yeah, exactly. The poor guy Netanyahu. He has to wait. He's not allowed to come through the front of the door. He has to come to the side of the door. He's the Prime Minister of Israel. This is disgusting.
And let's be honest.
And he is the longest reigning Prime Minister of Israel as well. That's
how
special this man is.
He's also a badass. The man's a badass.
He is a badass.
he's not a politician.
He's a warrior.
He's a fighter. He does, and you got to respect that. I mean, how could you not respect that?
Exactly.
I just don't understand.
Exactly. So we have just a few minutes, and Seth, I'm going to keep you on. But I just wanted to remind our audience that the Patriots Prayer is one of the sponsors for this wonderful event in Dundalk. It's called Charm City. I'm actually going to be, and Eddie, please show the flyer. Woo! The Charm City is going to be Saturday, August 10th in Dundalk. I am one of the judges. It's a singing competition. If it's in Dundalk, if anybody's still interested in sponsoring or showing up, please let me know. On Facebook, our elected official who I interviewed, Tim Fazenbaker, he will be emceeing. You can follow him on, and or you can follow him on at America One Tim Faze, but you can also look him up at timfazenbaker.com. That's timfazenbaker.com. But yeah, so please come to that event. That's Saturday, August 10th from 7 to 11 p.m.
Is he going to sing?
I'm sorry?
Is Tim going to sing?
I want him to sing. I want him to sing.
If he sings, I want to come see that. I will come see him.
Yeah, I want him to sing, and I want him to play guitar. He's a very good guitarist. So
I didn't know that.
Tim had a band for many years called Outbreak. He was the lead singer and lead guitarist for many years.
I had no idea. I was trying to be a smartass. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's great. But yeah, please come out and show your support. The money does go to a soup kitchen to feed the homeless. So it'll be great. And Johnny Lang is putting it together with his son, James. And we do a lot of events for these guys. They manage Pollock Johnny's in Dundalk, which is a great franchise out there. Great hot dogs.
Yeah.
They're great. Yeah, they're good people. I don't know, maybe we should invite Kamala Harris. She knows a lot about hot dogs. And I shouldn't say that on air, but
it's the truth, though. You're not lying.
Not lying, but just to let you know, Kamala Harris, she did date Montel Williams, and
right.
Willie Brown. That's what who she was known for. I mean, it's like, where do these people come from? Where do these people come from? I honestly wholeheartedly believe, and this is just my opinion, everybody, for the audience, that she will not be the Democratic nominee. That is my opinion. I agree with you on this, Seth, because I know you said this on your podcast as well. Because Obama, he is the puppet master and all this. Him and George Soros are controlling this whole thing. And Obama has called for an open convention.
Yes, he did.
I wholeheartedly believe that she is not going to be the Democratic nominee. This is all fanfare right now. They're all hyping her up. They all said, oh, she's got the delegates right now to win. I believe it's all BS because she's more horrible than Biden. There's no way in heck that she could ever even get close.
And like you said, she only got 1%.
Yeah, she only got 1%.
The Democrats don't even like her.
Yeah, her own party doesn't even like her. Like, she's disgusting. And hey, Eddie, what's up? And
hey, sweetheart.
I hope it's her. Honest to God.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
honestly, I didn't want Biden to back out.
For the same reason. For the same reason that I didn't want Biden to back out.
I didn't want Biden to back out. No, Biden. I didn't want Biden to back out at all. But no. I mean, I would. Yeah. I know Obama has something up. I shouldn't say I know it. I feel it that Obama has something up his sleeve. I don't believe that she's going to be the Democratic nominee. I feel he's going to pull someone in there, and yeah.
I would be shocked if she got the nomination. I would be completely shocked.
I think it's kind of hard for Mike to run right now until he gets bottom surgery. Then, and then maybe he can take that.
I would love to be in that doctor's office. Oh my God, just getting that.
No, that's funny. I do feel like less of a man when I see her on TV. I'm like, damn,
she got bigger shoulders than me, man.
Yeah, I'm not even trying.
She could definitely dunk a basketball on me. That's for damn sure.
She could probably run 20 yards on me too. Knock me down and get the touchdown. She's a big dude.
Navy SEAL looking ass.
I'm still waiting to see pictures of her pregnant. Like, I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I've never seen those.
Men cannot get pregnant.
Like Melania, you've seen pictures of her pregnant.
Yes.
That Barron is her child. But like,
have you seen? Listen, we'll just go down this hole for a second. Have you seen the Obama's friends?
Oh, wait, can we hold on? I don't want to end my show on this. No,
Next to the
let's
Obama
not end the
kid.
show. I'm gonna end the show. Hold on. We're gonna be back next week. We're gonna end the show, and the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.
Unless you're a Democrat.
And please vote Trump. If you're Jewish, vote for Trump. Please God.
Definitely.
Go watch Netanyahu tomorrow morning.